What's going on, guys? Joe and Mike back from buildassetsonline.com. We're here in Paradise, the Virgin Islands of New Jersey.
We're here to announce the first location of our Elite Fleet retreat. Just kidding. Not yet.
In today's episode, we're going to be talking about getting consistent sales with high-ticket dropshipping. Now, our power has actually been inconsistent, which is why we're not live streaming today. That's why we're shooting an episode here in Paradise in the pool. So let's get right to it. Now, when it comes to consistency, I think that's one of the first things that our students start to question. They get a sale here, they get a sale there, but they're like, I'm not making consistent sales. And I want to tell a quick story, Mike, because I remember when we first started, what had happened was that we would get like a sale and then a sale like a few days later, and we're like, well, what if we could just get one sale a day? Then we'd be rocking and rolling. So what we actually did was we made like 4 stores because we figured, all right, if each one gets a sale a day, then we're good. Do you remember that?
Yes, no, exactly. That was one of our biggest struggles as well, was, okay, we can make a sale once every 5 days, or sometimes we would go 3 weeks without a sale. I remember at your wedding, we hadn't made a sale on this particular store for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And we made a sale that day, and I showed you, and we were like freaking out. So, yeah, this is really the next step from beginner, where you first set up your store, you first get the ads going, you have the beginning jitters, and now things are happening, the proof of concept is there.
Yeah.
And so you need to figure out, okay, now I need to get this going daily, or at least at some consistent level to where I'll have a predictable income source.
Yeah, so what would you recommend to people? Should they do what we did, where we went ahead and made like 4 stores, just because we figured, all right, if we can get 1 to 1 sale every 4 days, maybe we can repeat it, and then we'll get a sale a day. Should they do that?
No, so I think we did that in the beginning just because we didn't know how else to go about, like we had one store getting a sale a week. So we thought, okay, if we make more stores and they're each performing at this level, then that will lead to consistency. But what we found was, I'm just looking at myself, I look ridiculous, but what we found was the key is really just increasing your traffic and increasing your ad spend. And so that's why there's such a focus on, this ads troubleshooting stuff, and that's why we added that to the course. We talk about it a lot because it's literally the only roadblock. We've had to spend thousands and thousands of dollars to come to that conclusion. Yeah. Hiring agencies, just trying to figure this out. That was like our biggest roadblock for a very long time.
Well, that's why we hired the agencies in the first place, was for that exact reasons. We're making sales, but how do we get more sales? And so, yeah, I think we definitely covered that in the ads troubleshooting module in our course. But for those not in our course, I mean, what kind of tips and tricks do you think they can, or at least what can they start to think about to get that level of consistency?
Well, it really does go back to the ads. So whether you're doing our course or something else, just a lot of people, if they are getting 1 sale every 5 days or something like that, or out of a month, maybe they've gotten 4 sales, 6 sales, you need to factor in, okay, how much did I spend to get to that level, and how much actual visitors did I get? And so in theory, if you can increase your traffic and have the same quality of visitors coming in, then to go from 6 sales a day to 30, you would just need to 5x.
Right.
But that is the key, right? Is maintaining that consistency or that quality of traffic. And so it does come down to actually spending time in your ads account and understanding what is making you sales. So that can bring you into reporting issues, which can be a whole nother barrel of monkeys, right?
Right. So is it always possible to do that profitably? If you have, say, one brand that's getting a sale a week, is it always profitable to say, let's make them get a sale a day, or does it just kind of depend on what we're working with here?
I think it definitely depends, because some brands, maybe they just don't have that level of brand recognition, right? If you're selling something super high end that not many people are going to buy just off of searching, say like sectional sofa, and you're selling some super premium, expensive sectional sofa that has some weird feature about it, only people, the majority of people that are going to buy that consistently are going to be people that know about brands, that know about that brand in particular.
Right.
So getting the customer from not being aware of that brand to finding out about them, to researching them, to making the decision to buy, that could be a long sales cycle, and you may not have the skill to do that profitably.
Right.
So sometimes, yeah, for a particular brand, you may just have to leave it where it is and settle for, okay, I make 1 or 2 sales a month with this particular product or this particular brand. I think this is gonna be, you know, the best results I'm gonna get. You don't want to. Everything else might be diminishing returns.
Right. I think that's definitely what we did in the beginning. Was we just kept, so we had the 4 stores, and what we did was we just kept acquiring suppliers to go after those low-hanging fruit where we could get a sale, whatever, every couple days or every week from a given supplier. But now it seems like we're really consistent where we're dialing in on selling the same suppliers and the same stuff over and over and over again.
Yeah, so getting suppliers would be a way to combat that issue, but you may not necessarily need to start a new store because in the beginning we didn't really understand this idea that you can just keep building up a store, and we felt like, I don't know, there was a mental roadblock there, and a lot of people undergo that.
I think the mental roadblock is you may be thinking a little bit too small rather than thinking big.
Yeah, and that's why, you know, if you watch our interview with Jared, he has no roadblocks in his head as far as the size of his store or what he wants to accomplish. He's just going to keep calling people until something happens. And so that's kind of the mindset you need to have.
And I want to let maybe the viewers in on a little bit of a secret, is that we recently did these episodes where we gave 10 best dropshipping products in a given niche. And we're going to continue to do those for sure. But some of the reactions we got from our students was, oh man, I was going to do that product, and then now I'm not. Now it's all over. You blew it up, and it's gone. I can't do it anymore. And actually, maybe we should save that for a different episode. Maybe we'll save that for the next episode, because I think that ties into overall mindset and just having a scarcity mindset about dropshipping. Because the truth is that when we say in those episodes, hey, we might go and do this, there's a good chance that we're gonna, and we don't care that we've blown it up, because we know that no one is gonna do it.
Yeah, because we've had our niches blown up so many times, and you know, we've done so much generic stuff and we've seen it work that it's kind of a non-issue. There's maybe a few things, but it shouldn't prevent anyone from just taking action and seeing what happens, because a lot of the real saturation, like, there's always going to be unknown suppliers that you can pick out.
Yeah.
And that you can get. Or even if you get a really saturated one, you can still make sales with it. You just need to take action, see what happens, and adjust. When you start getting in your head and thinking about, oh, is this the right thing to do? Is this the right thing to do? Versus making a free call to a supplier.
Yeah.
Then that's where you just wind up wasting time, and you wind up, you know, getting yourself into an unproductive state.
Yeah, I think you're right about the thinking of, is this the right thing to do? Is this the right thing to do? I think that's the deepest hole that someone can get themselves into in anything related to online. Because you know, it's interesting, actually. I was watching a Tim Ferriss video, and he said something that was the opposite of how I feel. He said that when you're doing an online business, it should be measure twice and cut once, which in other words is saying that you better make sure you're doing it correctly before you do it. And I actually completely disagree, because there's just, from our own experience, there have been so many things that we went into not fully knowing what we're doing and not fully questioning what we're doing, but we learned so much along the way that there's no way we would have learned it if we didn't do it. So the measuring twice, it's like you can't measure something if you don't have a measuring stick or like a measuring tape.
You don't know what you're measuring. You don't know how to measure. So I agree with you. I don't think that really applies. Maybe, you know, Tim Ferriss now is very high level. He's done online business since.
Yeah, so he knows what to measure. That's the difference.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing now. But if there's any place where you don't have to do that, you know, I know someone that has that literally tattooed on them, and they're like a a carpenter or something.
Measure twice, cut once.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, that's a difference. That's
But-
a different story.
Yeah, if you're a carpenter, it's a physical structure. Whatever you put up, you have to deal with that. You have to build things on top of that. This
Yeah.
is all just bits and bytes, as they say.
Yeah, it's all fake. It's all fake. The whole thing's fake, guys. This is a simulation. We'll see you in the next episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe. All that that nonsense. I'm gonna hit the power button so you can
Take it easy.
Oh god.